Good morning, Australia and New Zealand. Happy Saturday. It is the last of our Super Saturdays, and oh my goodness, we have saved one of the most incredible women for last. It is one more week until True Science Liquid Collagen is launched, and oh my goodness, I could not be any more excited to see you guys be in person at the Gold Coast. It is going to be a jam-packed couple of days, so make sure you bring a notebook, couple of notebooks and some really good quality pens, because you are going to be writing notes like nobody's business. The lady that we are going to be interviewing today is our incredible Vicky Jamieson. She is a trained beauty therapist, and in her mid to late 30s, she decided she would like to take up triathlons. And so we are going to be chatting with her today from an athlete's perspective on how she takes our products, True Science, and how it's helped her in the recovery of an injury that she accrued last year. So without further ado, I'm going to be handing over to the incredible Vicky Jamieson. I cannot wait. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat and we will endeavor to answer them shortly.
Hi, my name is Vicky Jamieson, and I have been asked by Grace to come on and talk about my experience with the True Science Collagen and collagen in general from an athletic focus. So if you don't know me, I am a beauty therapist or trained beauty therapist and trained holistic aromatherapist. So I have got some experience with collagen, but my hobby, or what I do in all my time I'm not working, is I train for triathlon. So anyone who has a sport or a passion for exercise or doing anything that's a little bit more than the weekend warrior, then this is for you. So just to give that a little bit of perspective, what I do, and so a lot of endurance athletes are doing. In training for a triathlon, which I took up actually in my late 30s. So at 39, I think it was, I decided to do my first triathlon. So that's a sign that it's never too late, never too late to start. I wanted to tick it off my bucket list of turning 40 and decided that I quite liked it. So I'd started from short distance, very short races, to building up as the kids got older. I had a bit more time to train, and I did the short course triathlons for many years, probably about 6 or 7 years must have been. And then we moved across to Australia from New Zealand, and I joined a club. My husband was training for his first Ironman event. So an Ironman is 4Ks of swimming in a race, 4Ks, 180 bike, and then a 42K run. So it's a marathon at the run. So it was a massive effort for him to step up from, he was doing half Ironmans before that. So I figured I would join the club and join him. I was not doing Ironman events, but I then did more serious age group triathlon and competed in my age group. And now still I'm post 55, over 55. So I'm in the 55 to 59 age group, doing triathlon still. And there's many women now and guys, but it's changed for women to be training at this age. Normally it's a younger person sport, although women do get better at endurance sports as they get older. So as an athlete, I now do half Ironman events. So that's half that distance. So that's a 2K swim, a 90K bike, and a 21K run. My focus is on rebuilding muscle, so that when I'm out doing training rides or longer runs, there's always that element of breaking down. My body will be breaking down because I'm running for longer than an hour. I'm cycling longer than an hour. I might be doing a 4 or 5 hour cycle. And then our swim sessions are always 1.5 to 2 hours. So it's allowing the body to heal and repair when there is a constant need to exercise every day. So because there's 3 disciplines in triathlon, we actually train every single day, 7 days a week, unless you're not feeling well, and then you might have a day off. But generally you can listen to your body and train every single day if you train smart and with a coach, obviously. So my one of the things I'm always passionate about is looking after my body so that it can do the things I want to do. So that is part of that is taking collagen. It's just one of the things I take, but I certainly have taken collagen for a number of years in many different forms. So I want to run through the questions that Grace has asked me. There's been a little bit of a glitch between appointments and things, so I'm on here solo, but Grace, I'm thinking of you. So she's asked, as an athlete and sportswoman, do I take collagen? And the answer is yes. And so have I previously taken collagen? And if so, when? What did I take? So yes, I've previously taken collagen. I've probably taken collagen for maybe, and definitely on and off for maybe since my mid-40s. And that's mainly because hormonally I'm changing, and I know that as estrogen depletes, then my muscle mass depletes at a much faster rate than, say, when I was in my 30s. So as an athlete, my muscles are my body's my machine. So my muscles are really important, and also so that I don't get injured. So I have taken a variety of different collagens over that time. And when I think about it, like, have I seen or felt the results? No. My skin is pretty good, so that I'm like, yes, well, maybe it's helped with my skin health and vitality and firmness. But from an athletic perspective, I'm not sure. So I can't tell if it has worked or not. However, I have taken the liquid collagen, the True Science liquid collagen. I actually was involved in an accident, unfortunately, end of last year. But the good news was it prompted me to buy in from using our not for resale program, the True Science liquid collagen, because of some of the things that it had that stood out to me as far as bone health was, it had. So what happened to me was I was hit from behind when I was training out on a training run, and I broke my shoulder. So head of the humerus, very painful. But anyway, I wanted to, as a woman post-menopause, my bone health is critical, and it's in a time in my life where it's depleting much faster than I can maintain it. So it was really important for me, if I wanted to get back to my sport and if I wanted to swim freestyle again, that I had to get my shoulder back to full mobility, not just I can move it now, but it's not still at full mobility. So I used the True Science collagen because it had 10 types of collagen. So one of those types, I'm gonna just read from my notes here. A lot of the collagen products that I had taken in the past, one, were not TGA approved. So that was one thing that stood out to me. The other thing was the studies were there so that it increased your collagen density by 42% in 8 weeks. That was like huge. So collagen is a main structure in our muscles, as well as in our skin, in our joints, and in our bones. So because I knew it was involved in our bones, I wanted to get on top of my bone health as much as I could, being the age that I was. So there's some of the types of collagen that are in the True Science liquid collagen is type 10, which is part of what's made for new bone formation, particularly in articulate cartilage. Type 11, which is in type 2, which is to promote type 2 collagen. And that is found between the discs of the bone and spine. So again, as an athlete, when I'm continually running, I am pounding on concrete. It's not ideal, but that's just how we train. So therefore, there's a lot of breakdown. So I want to protect and preserve the cushioning in between my spine so I don't have pain, for one thing, and injuries later on, and that I still have mobility and flexibility when I'm much older. So those are the two key proteins or types of collagen that were in the True Science collagen that weren't in any of the other products that I had used before. So most collagens on the market will have type 1 and type 2 in them, which are great for skin. Type 2 is really good for joint health. But this, with the 10 types, was a lot more focused on elastic cartilage, joint health, the spine, different layers of skin here. There's a lot of eye health going on here, vascular system. So I want my blood pumping through my veins when I need to put on the gas if I'm in a race. So from an athlete's perspective, I wanted to heal the bone tissue, but then I also had to look at the cartilage and the muscle tissues that were surrounding my bone. So that was my impetus to try the True Science collagen. And on the note of, did I notice a difference? Yes. So this is the first time I've taken collagen that I can visibly see the difference, mainly with my skin. I haven't gone for another MRI at this stage for my bone. However, the physio said she's, and the sports doctor, she's really happy with the progress with the bone health healing, seem to be on the quicker side. And so now it's the slow job of working on the muscle attachments to the bone, which help my arm move. And of course, I'm not at full mobility. It's about, it's coming up 4 months, which, you know, it's about an 18-month recovery from that type of injury. So having said that, I don't have any sports MRIs to support that. It's just going on my feeling on that stuff. So another question that Grace has asked is, if I'm taking a collagen product, what do I look for in a collagen that I would take? So the first thing that I look for is that it has to be in a form that I can absorb. So the True Science, but there's a lot of other collagen products out there now that have it in a hydrolyzed form. So that basically means collagen's like it's an amino acid or protein blend. So it's quite big molecules. So quite often we can't absorb it and we might get gut distress, or we just feel yuck in the tummy. So that means we're not really absorbing it, or it's not in a form. So it's important for me to have it in its right form so that I can use it for muscle building, which is my main focus, and injury prevention. So I want my muscles to be stronger and rebuilding faster, and that joint health to be happy, basically. So the hydrolyzed form is key. Definitely the more types of collagen you have, the better, because you get a broader spectrum. And again, from an athlete perspective, it's more about them. We're not so focused on skin, although I am, but it's more about muscles, tendons, cartilage, joint, bone health, because those are all the things that we're continually pounding away at. And we're basically reducing the capacity there because we're usually doing a lot of it. So being able to replenish that is key and get it to rebuild. The other thing I look for is the amount and the where it's from. So a clean source is what I like to use. And in the past, there hasn't been too many choices. Marine collagen is seen to be quite absorbable and potent because it can be made and mercury taken out, and there's no toxins in there. So the thing that I'm really particular about is buffers and fillers and preservatives and the other stuff that's in a product that doesn't serve us. So not necessarily the collagen, but all the other bits and bobs that we don't need, so to make it a product basically so we can absorb it. So the more extras and buffers and all the added extras you see in small print, then I'm not interested in all that. I want it to be as pure as it can be in a form that I can digest happily, and also use, my muscles can use and instantly make more muscle, the better. And then the amount. So the amount I look for is between 5 and 10 grams, which is kind of on the high side. But as an athlete, again, I've got a lot more. I'm aware I am at a higher end, being a woman past menopause as well, that my breakdown of muscle is happening a lot faster biologically than, say someone in their 30s, or 20s. So I want to have the top end of the collagen amount going in so that my body can rebuild faster than it's breaking down, pretty much. So the research that I did on True Science collagen, so that was another question that Grace has asked. When I did research on True Science collagen as an athlete, what stood out to me? So it was basically those factors, that it had 10 different forms, and none other was, there was usually only 1 or 2 forms of collagen. It was hydrolyzed, so it was in a form that we could use. One of the things as an athlete too that is really important to me is that I get a lot of, and I know a lot of athletes get this, is gut issues, because quite often we're having high energy foods, we're on gels and electrolytes, and when you're doing endurance racing, when in endurance kind of activity, you might be out for 4 to 12 hours if you're doing adventure racing, and so you need to refuel, and it needs to be usually in a liquid form or a very easily digestible form. So over the years of doing that, it does actually sometimes break down your gut's microbiome, and it also impairs that gut barrier. So you can end up being bloated or having, gut distress, we call it. So either constipated or diarrhea, and you're out in a race, it's not ideal, or even in training, it's not ideal. So having something that helps my gut is important, and collagen does work on your gut lining. So that was another reason to find a good collagen product, so that it helped feed that gut barrier, so it rebuilt it, so which also helps with the absorption of all the goodies that go into your body, so that your body can make energy. What else stood out to me? The other thing in the True Science one is it's in a formulation that has a lot of vitamin C with it, so it's in a group of what has other ingredients in it, and that is what makes it taste so good. So that was actually the other thing, it had to taste good because it was a liquid. If it was gonna taste bad, I was not interested in taking it because it wasn't sustainable, and I might do it for a while, maybe while my injury was there, but it wouldn't be a sustainable thing. And I needed to find something that I could use like maybe forever if I continue to race. So it tastes good, but within that taste is the goodies like vitamin C, and vitamin C helps collagen work or be made in the body. So with those amino acids that come in, that's your building blocks to build the protein back up, or build your muscles back up, build your joints and bone health back up. One of the big things that stood out to me was the study, which I mentioned earlier, which was the one thing really was it increased the density by 42% in 8 weeks. And I just thought, wow, that's like incredible. I've never heard of that before. There were some other things once I looked a bit deeper. So as an athlete, we can have, that muscle breakdown. So one of the things it does is it increases catalase, which is one of our natural antioxidants, by 202%. And I was like, oh, great, but what does catalase do? So I looked into it, and it's part of our cell signaling and closely linked to how our mitochondria respond, which is really important in exercise because we need more energy, which is our mitochondria is responsible for that. So by increasing the catalase, that's just like a phenomenal amount, 202%, it actually counteracts muscle damage. So there's studies out to say that it counteracts muscle damage and enhances sports performance. I'm like all over that. I'm going to take anything I can. I'm just the average athlete, but I do take my sport seriously. The other thing that I did do a study on, or I did a search on, was the increased activity of SOD gene. So that is increased by 27 times to produce antioxidants. So the study through LifeVantage was to help defend skin cells, which is great from my work because I'm in that beauty industry. But from a sports perspective, that is one of the things that helps protect us as we get older for osteoporosis and sarcopenia, which is where we have increased bone loss and that calcification of our bone. So again, because I love running and I do a lot of running, that wears down and can deplete bone density. It's a bit of a catch-22. So because I'm older, that's what it does. So that increase in the activation of the SOD, so getting it to keep working, will actually decrease my incidence of sarcopenia, which means I can run longer. Basically, at the end of the day, as an athlete, I can do my sport for longer. So those are the main things that stood out to me. Now, Grace has also asked, as an athlete, what products do I take and do I feel any different? So I do take other products. So I made a list actually of what I take, and I actually take quite a lot, but I have taken less since I've been activated. So that is the good news. So I do take a multi. So I've just literally I'm nearly at the month of the new AM and PM. And do I notice a difference? I can tell at night I'm getting a better sleep, and I was already sleeping pretty good. So yes, I can tell a difference with that. I'm definitely sleeping better. So for me, from an athlete perspective, that's about restoring the damage I've done during the day. And so I can recover. And so when I do my next training, which is the following day, I've got a bit more energy. So I feel like I've got more mojo, I've got more motivation. I also take fish oils. So I like the LifeVantage ones because they're smaller. So that actually helps just get them down, and there's no fishy aftertaste. So that's my key things with that. And I take a vitamin D. So again, vitamin D for me for bone health, because I'm older and because I like to perform at my best, is important. So that helps a lot of other processes in the body, I believe. And we don't get enough vitamin D, even though I'm outside a lot exercising. Studies show that in Australasia, we don't get enough vitamin D. And as you get older, your skin's ability to convert vitamin D from the sun goes down. So that's important for me to keep that up. I also take an extra magnesium calcium tablet because otherwise my muscles get a bit twitchy. So I find that works really well. And I do notice if I don't take it, I can last about 3 days. I do also take a joint product, which has got glycosamine in it. So again, yes, I notice a difference. If I don't take it, I can last about 5 days. And then my ankles will start getting, painful. So I think that it's an accumulation of everything I do. Obviously, I'm activated, so I take the NRF2, the NRF1, the NAD, and I have been on all three for about a year. But prior to that, I was on the Duo, so the NRF1 and 2 for, so 2020 I joined, and have been using the products ever since. So 2 years on the Duo. Definitely noticed at that time sleep improved, and motivation actually in the morning. That was something that really improved for me, and probably detox. I was had clean, what I call clean energy. So on the other thing actually I was going to say, because my gut improved, is I take the probiotics. And for me, having gut issues in my early 40s, that was a game changer, because of all the drinks that I mentioned before that I used to take, and the liquid gels and everything that I'm taking on a bike, that would make a big difference to my gut health. Wasn't great. So I've been on the probiotics for 3 years. Probably in the first year, I noticed the most massive difference. I wasn't running to the bathroom. I wasn't needing to go before and after a run at some great speed. I could digest things and feel like I was getting, energy from it rather than feeling depleted. I wasn't needing to eat so much. What else did I notice? Less bloating. I have recently put on a little bit of weight because of my injury, but pretty much stayed the same weight throughout. So I feel like it's the combination that works really well for me. I've found what works. I just love the liquid collagen, I have to say. I think I'm never going to stop that. And so from an injury perspective, I want to keep taking that because it's going to prevent a lot of the injuries. So that seems to be that from an athlete's perspective, the research is showing that the more types of collagen you can take, the less chance of injury, because your cartilage and ligaments and connective tissue are more supple, and not so rigid. There's one study I saw that said that it can help heal from injuries by preventing scar tissue buildup. So if you have had injuries in the past, over time, as those build up and you get more and more scar tissue, that makes that muscle and tendon tighter, so you get more injuries. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. So that's a really big key thing as well, that scar tissue buildup won't be happening. So yeah, that was kind of my take. The main difference obviously being that the True Science Collagen activates your own collagen. So apart from replenishing what you already have and maintaining, it is in fact actually increasing your own collagen to keep being made, rather than, as I'm getting older, I would know that would be decreasing at a big rate. Now I feel it, rest assured that I can trigger more collagen production so that I have more collagen, so I have more muscle mass, so I can run faster, and I have better ligaments and cartilage and joint mobility because my own collagen is being made. And the other thing is, the thing that the True Science Collagen does that other collagen products don't do is that it replenishes. So it's actually dampening down the enzyme that breaks down our collagen at a certain age. That starts to ramp up, that little enzyme breaks down our collagen quite quickly. And particularly for women, as we go through menopause, that starts to increase rapidly once we get through menopause. It is part of the aging process, but it does happen a lot as you progress through your hormonal changes. So the fact that has actually dampening down that enzyme, so it's keeping it quiet in the background, rather than it accelerating how much collagen is getting broken down at any one time, is key for me. Anyway, that's my perspective. So I hope you've learned some new tidbits of information. Go research and do your own stuff. I went on to PubMed and I was greatly researching when I broke my bone. Actually, I was that motivated me because I wanted to get back to running. So for me, it's all about living my best life and helping others live their best lives. And I truly think that True Science Collagen will make a big difference for anyone who is active, who is sporty, who wants to be sporty, and who wants to continue to be sporting in their endeavors for as long as they want to keep mobile. So this is exciting stuff. So thanks very much, and have a good morning, evening, day, wherever you are.
Oh my goodness. I have written so many notes. Seriously, I am so excited for Liquid Collagen to be coming to Australian and New Zealand shores, because it is going to blow you guys away. Huge thank you to Vicky. Thank you so much for your time and your effort. I know this was a pre-record because unfortunately she is away for the weekend at a retreat. I am so excited though that we got to share this space with you. Thank you for joining us this Saturday, and it's one more week until Collagen launches. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and have a great and blessed weekend. See you soon, guys.